Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning.
A podcast where we share with you great insights about everything family from over 30 years of parenting 7 kids and over a decade of equipping parents through our Crazy Cool Family ministry.
So let us inspire and equip you to build your best family.
Hey Crazy Cool Families, Macy here, Dawn and Suze's third daughter. We are doing a rerun podcast this week because we want you to have the best August ever. Back in August of 2021, we released this podcast. We listened to it recently and we're like, hey, it still applies today just as much as ever before. So take a listen if you are headed into August and you see it as a transition month, you see it as a stressful month, you see it as a sweaty month, whatever kind of month you see it as. We're excited to give you some practical tools to help calm the crazy or control the crazy during August this fall. So listen to the podcast, listen to how to make transitions the best as you head into the school year. Let's go.
Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning. And
hello, folks.
We are in the 1st of August, which means that we are starting this
craziness of August. Can I say that?
Yes, you
Well,
can.
no, what were you going to say?
Well, I was in this transition. You know, in June, school's out, everything's great. We got summer, and we're going on vacation.
Got months ahead of us to play.
And July, it's getting hotter.
And then there's the 4th of July, big parties,
But you
fireworks.
also kind of start to transition. You start thinking July, okay, here it comes.
I know.
Here it
We're
comes.
about to hit
Here
the
it comes.
middle,
Yeah.
and then the middle goes
Yeah.
downhill into the
August,
school year.
yes. And so so we're going to talk today about the transition in the month of August because
And how to make it your best transition.
Right.
I just, for so many years, I dreaded August. I mean, I dreaded the heat of August. I dreaded the to-do list of August and all the different things that needed to happen and purchased and the different directions that we all started to go in August. I would just dread it. I had a bad attitude, I confess. And then I actually have 2 kids with their birthdays in August too. And we tried to make birthdays a big deal anyway.
Well, and really just you know list out, we were talking about this beforehand, all the things that need to be done in August. I mean, haircuts, school supplies, you're getting physicals for sports.
And if you haven't been to the dentist, and everybody usually needs a new pair of tennis shoes, and for some reason they've grown all summer, so their clothes don't fit anymore, and it goes on and on and on and on.
The school, whatever, you got to get the school lunch account set up, and you got to get
yes.
I mean,
all the paperwork. You got to get them enrolled, and you've got to the things.
You got to go over their classes they're going to be going to, and it's just
and buy summer reading if you haven't done that yet.
yeah, exactly.
Which we haven't.
Yeah. So all in August, there's just like this feeling of, okay, it's coming. School is coming.
Giant
Summer
project.
Yeah, and
Yes.
summer's over, and so you're just dealing with a lot of logistics for one, dealing with some emotions for one.
Oh yeah, that's good to acknowledge that. Because
Dealing with the heat of the summer if you're in Texas for one, or wherever you are, and so how do you make August an effective transition? How do you start school well? Whatever age kids you have, how do you start school well? In the coming weeks, we're going to be talking to some of our kids about it. And so, but right now we just want to talk about how you make transitions go well. And so,
well, to start off with, just mamas, we can't be crazy. I mean, I found and I realized and I saw that when I was out of control crazy, then it became a stressful situation for my kids. And there is an excitement that is built in our kids to start a new year, to have a new teacher, to have a new set of classes. But if we come at it as the leader, of our kids and our family, and we're all stressed out, then they pick up on that too. And so one of the things that I learned is that God's faithful. He's not going to give us more than we can't handle. And that, it says, do not worry about today, for today has enough worries of its own.
do not worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, do not worry about tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about today either, but don't worry about tomorrow, because today's got enough. And when I started living that and realizing, okay, this is what I can get done today. I can get these 3, I can get the kid to get the physical, I can get some school supplies, and I can get another kid to get a pair of tennis shoes. As soon as I started doing that. And then tomorrow, and I was always so surprised when I looked up and there would be days in there that we could still go to the pool and we could still have summer. It wasn't all consuming all day, every day.
Well, one of the ways I think you did that was to start early. And so there's, what happens is that we tend to think, the last week of school, and all of a sudden there is about 4 weeks worth of stuff we got to put in the last week.
Right.
Well, start earlier.
So like this year I got the boys' haircuts in July, and we ordered them tennis shoes in July. And so we already went ahead and got that done so that when August hit, that was 2 less things to do.
How long does a haircut last?
Well, my boys go short and then long, short and then long. It's a beautiful training that I've got for them. So they can, Don you get your haircut, once a week?
No. Some people do. Mine's about every 4 or 5 weeks. I was thinking if you got it cut in the middle of July, I would already need one.
No, but they are way
just once a year for our boys.
Twice a year, spring and fall.
You
how to save money when you've got a lot of kids.
You got to do your own things, parents. If your kids get their hair cut more than twice a year, you may want to put that towards the end of the to-do list, and maybe the shoes will be at the first because their feet won't grow as long as their hair, or as much as their hair will. But just think about starting early, and like Suzanne's saying, the more stressed you are, the more stressed your kids will be. Realize too, your kids are going through their own fears of starting a new grade. Potentially, maybe they're going into first grade. Maybe they're going into kindergarten. Maybe they're going into a new school. Maybe they're going. Maybe you've moved. It could be that they're going into from 3rd to 4th grade, and it's the same people. But they're going to have a new teacher. They're going to have new teachers. So, realize they're a little bit anxious about that too. Tell parents, Suzanne, how do you process with your younger kids, let's say, about starting the new school year?
Yeah, and so with that, I want to just start out by saying that transitions are tricky. They're hard. I think even for adults, they're hard. And so understand that for your child, that a transition from going from being at home for summer to being in a classroom all day, that is a shift in our little brain that we have to do. And so how we help our kids do that is we talk about it, and we are excited about it. And you're going to learn so much in the first grade. I'm so excited. I loved the first grade. My teacher was Mrs. Brown, and she, and I sat on the front row and I learned to draw my letters. You're going to learn how to draw your letters. And so start building that up, building that anticipation. We do that for our vacations. We're going to Disney World and we talk about it, or we're going to the pool. We do that. And so do that for school as well. You're going to we're going to pack a lunchbox. And that's one of the things I would do with my kids is we would pick out something special for them, whether it was a lunchbox or maybe it was a bow for their hair or a new t-shirt if they were a little boy and they wanted a football on their t-shirt, and we would pick out
or a certain notebook whether they were going to carry
definitely a school supply. We definitely picked out school supplies just so that they would have something that reminded them of home, that they felt loved, that a memory was attached to. One of the things that I would do is I would take each kid school shopping, and so we would make a special memory of it, and that's when I would say all these things to them. Oh my goodness, you're going to love this. Yes, you should totally get the red notebook for math because red's a power color and you know math. And so I would just kind of infuse truth connected to the things so that when they were in school and they started feeling homesick or lonely and they would see the things, then they would be reminded, okay, it's a power color. I can do this.
Well, because, you think about your younger kids especially deal with that transition of going from home into being away from home every day. That's hard. And so how are you going to deal with that? Well, those are some great ways to do it. It may be, as they get older, they may be easier, but now they're dealing with, okay, I'm going from having one teacher to having multiple teachers. Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do to talk? And what Suzanne's saying is that you're in anticipating what they're going to go through, because guess what, parents, we've been through it before, and seeing the road ahead of them so they're not surprised by it, and then doing it in an encouraging way. I mean, let's contrast that with what's happening with some parents where, oh my goodness, we didn't get this one teacher that we wanted. Oh, yeah. And so therefore life is going to be terrible this year. And it might be, because a difference in teacher could make a big difference. I mean, we've definitely had years in grade school where they had great teachers, and we've had years where they didn't have.
But so even with that right there, I would always tell my kids, the teacher you get is the exact teacher that God designed and created and handpicked for you. Yeah, but Mom, she's the worst teacher ever. She might have been the worst teacher ever, but not for you.
Right.
Because, but she's terrible at math. She doesn't know math at all. Okay, that's great. But you know what? I believe God's going to teach you patience. He's going to teach you endurance. He's going to teach you perseverance. And so that's a great point to bring up, is that I remember being disappointed in elementary school and not getting I remember getting the mean teacher in 3rd grade, Mrs. Dobson. She was so mean. And you want to know what? At the end of that school year, I decided I wanted to be a school teacher. I was so inspired by her, and I loved her more than any other teacher. And I was terrified of her at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And so you just never know what God's going to do. I mean, He's got a plan and a purpose. We have to believe that, and we have to share it with our kids.
And I just think it's so cool that you're talking about how to be encouraging, because even with, oh my goodness, can you believe school's about to start? Oh, oh my goodness, this is terrible.
I would come into August with such a bad attitude, conviction.
Woe is me, and what are your kids are going to do? I mean,
but some moms might be celebrating, whoa, put the kids back in school. This is great. Yes, I feel that for you as well, moms.
Yeah, so, but just bring in encouragement. So we've talked about a couple of things. One is starting early, just kind of thinking about putting things in motion earlier so that you can not be as stressed, and kind of, but also just being encouraging. Hey, this is a great, encouraging their transition. You can do this. It's going to be great. It's a great time to inspire your kids. God has picked you out, especially to be in 4th grade at this elementary school, and just think about, you're going to make so many new friends, or whatever it's going to be. The more you bring energy and life to your kids and to the situation, the more they're going to be wanting it too.
And a super practical thing to do along with that is, if the school allows it, which I'm assuming that they will. I don't know with COVID stuff what's happening out there right now, but if the school allows it, then get on campus, go to the classroom. And you might not know which classroom's their classroom yet. I know that there is a back to school meet the teacher. Make that a priority. Make that happen. It's so helpful for your kids to be able to go in first before that first day of school. But if you can't make it happen, then go early that first day of school and let them get the lay of the land and let them get comfortable. And once again, infuse them with all of that confidence. You've got this. You can do this. This is amazing. God's with you. And so go, ahead of time. If they're playing a sport, then go look at the basketball court or go look at the football field and let them just be there. There's something about when the unknown becomes known, it's not as scary anymore. And so if your elementary kids can walk down the hallway that they know that they're going to be in, then it's not quite as scary anymore.
Right. That's good. So when kids start complaining and they start to do the inevitable whining and stuff that's happening because school's starting, how do we handle that? How do we handle helping our kids with their own attitude issues, if you will?
Yeah, and so there's a real fine line there, because there's definitely a part of us that we want to just say, oh my gosh, shut up already. But that's not at all what we need to do. So the fine line is that we need to listen to what's being said in between the words. What's being said in between the complaints. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it insecurity? Is it lack of confidence? What is it that's making them complain about it? And if you can get to the core of that, then I encourage you to speak to that. So if it's fear, then you just say, you know what, God, perfect love casts out fear. Did you know your teacher's going to love you? She's been praying for you all year. And God's created you, and so you give them purpose. God's created you to go in and be friends with everybody in the classroom. So find out what the core issue is. If it's insecurity, then alleviate that. What is it that you're insecure about? Well, I can't write my name very clearly. Okay, well, I know what we can do the next few days. We can practice writing our name. And so remove those things that are behind the complaints. Okay, if you don't want to be a detective and try to figure that out, then just ask them, what's the problem? Why are you complaining? Why do you not want to go to school? What is it that you don't want to do here?
And I think another way to do that as well, I think that's a great, it's great to ask those questions. And also let's just talk about expectations. Let's talk about what our expectations are for the year. Okay, here's your classes you're going to have. I expect you to make at least B's in everything, or, here's what we're going to do, and I expect you to do. Let's look at, the way we're going to do our assignments and how things, remember we get this iPad this year and this is how we're going to do this. And, just coaching them. I think so often we set these huge, the kids maybe don't know their expectations, or they think they're going to fail in some way, but we need to coach them without being helicopter parents. How are we going to empower our kids to make it on their own this school year, and the older the kid is, the more they need to be doing. Well, how are we going to teach them independence?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to bring about self-control in their lives this year? I love to just talk about that. What do you think this year? So often we would get our family together and we'd say, because I think realize parents that most parents, we don't operate on calendar years as much as we operate on school years. Because we start in the fall and then we go through the school year and then we have fun in the summer and then we ramp it back up again. Well, it's a great time to get the family together and go, man, what do you think this year looks like for you? Well, I want to make the A team in basketball. Awesome, man. What are we going to do to make that happen? What do we got to do? We need to get some skill sessions going or whatever. Or I want to be first chair in the band and the trumpet. Okay, great. You're going to need. How are you going to make that happen? Well, I'm going to practice, every day to make that happen. That's awesome. That's a great idea. Can I make this suggestion or whatever? And you start to go through those things with them and start to cast vision in their lives.
Yeah, and I love that. That's what I was going to say with that, is that when you do that, then it's not a blank slate as they go into school, and it's not a whole bunch of unknowns, and it's not a whole bunch of I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. When you lay it out, like Don's saying, with these ideals, these dreams, these visions, even expectations. Sometimes we have expectations, a bad word, but reality is when it's spoken, when it's talked about, it's not a bad word at all. It's a great relational connection.
Yeah.
And so take that time. As you do that, what you're doing is you're paving the way from this unknown world that they're going into, and you're actually giving them stepping stones in the world to go, okay, I'm going to try hard at this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to practice this. And now they have things to do, if you will.
Yeah. Who do you think your friends are going to be? What do you think church involvement looks like? Maybe for a middle school or high school kid, how are you going to be involved in youth group this year? What do you think your schedule is going to be like? Again, I love what Suzanne says, that you're making the unknown known. You don't have to know everything, but you're giving them this sense of security and peace that, oh yeah, I got this. This isn't so
that
hard.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I've done this. Yes.
And then you can walk in and you let them dream a little bit, and they start thinking, wow, this is going to be a fun year. I'm going to be, because many kids most kids love summer and are dreading the school year starting in some ways, but they're not
Sitting
dreading
on the desk.
Yeah, but they're not dreading being with their friends. They're not dreading,
recess.
Yeah.
Highlight of the day. It's never long enough.
Right now, McCade's looking forward to football, and he's looking forward to seeing how he's going to do with everybody. So they are looking forward to some things. Latch onto those things. Hey, what are you looking forward to? And so, and you can do this. And
it's good.
I think it's good to be. It's a great time to. I think August is a great time to inspire your kids.
Mm-hmm. That's a great to look at it. Instead of it being a whirlwind of things to do, look at it as an opportunity to inspire them through the to-do list, with the things you have to buy, with the appointments that you do. You get to spend this time with them and to inspire them for it's their future. It's their job. It's what they're going to do. It's where they're going to spend their time, and we get the unique place in their lives to get to build them up and encourage them as they step into this new season of their lives.
So when do you do these things? Well, as you're going to get a haircut with them.
Oh, yeah.
As you're going to buy that,
and it's
pair
the
of
best
jeans.
Haircut ever, Mom and Dad. You just need to say that after. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It's the best hair, even if it's not. It looks so good. Remember that one time you went to school and it was crooked?
Oh gosh, yes. It was during the school year, and just realized that what happened was I came home and the barber had cut one ear much lower than the other one, and I looked at and I did not want to go to school. So just realized the little things like that can really, their appearance, when you're critical of things, even weight, or or you're not enough in some way, or you can really damage their little self-esteem to go into, because man, especially like middle school, high school, it's all about how do I look, what am I wearing, what, all these things. And so
and even in elementary school, that there's certain things that are happening out there that are cool that us parents do not know about. And so let your kids drive which notebook they might want to get, and drive which tennis shoes they want to pick out. And if they're way outside their budget, then say, these are within our price range. You pick the ones that you're going to feel good in. And that's one of the many ways that you were talking about earlier, letting our kids have self-control, is going ahead and letting them make those choices right now as they're building their life and what they define as cool.
And what a way, if you talk, again, what do we talk about? It's all about relationship, right? If you're talking to that kid and you say, okay, what kind of clothes do you want? And they say, well, you know what? I want all these nice shirts and shoes, and it's going to cost, hundreds of dollars. You might say, okay, we don't have the money to do that. What's really important to you? Well, man, these red shoes, they are the bomb. I got to have those. I don't care if I wear t-shirts every day, but if I could have these red shoes, and those are $100. But the other ones I can do that. Okay, let's go get the shoes for you.
Make it happen.
Let's make that happen. And if it's even, if they've saved up money during the summer, hey, maybe you want to put some, I can afford this. Would you like to share in it or whatever? So many creative ways. But here's what you're doing. You're listening to them. You're helping them. You're empowering them to be confident to go into their school year.
Right.
So, as we kind of wrap up, what have we talked about? One, be encouraging, with all the tasks that are there, try not to be that parent, husband or wife. And husbands, you know what? Don't put this all on your wives. Ask, it'd be a great thing. She might let you help and she might not. But
the kids would always rather go with Dad to buy the things because Don didn't have a budget. He was like, sure, not a problem. Okay, you need, especially sporting things. You need a baseball and a glove and football pants and cleats. And, you're not playing, hockey, but let's get you a new puck.
We're not getting those cheap pads. We're going to get the best. We're going to.
He's 4, Don.
Exactly. That's so true.
But that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Is dads, get involved. What does it take? What does it look like for you to get involved too? If you might hate shopping, which most men do. I just have been blessed with one that doesn't hate shopping. But what else can you do? You can encourage your kid. You can tell them before they go to bed every night, you're going to be a rock star in 3rd grade. You're going to kill it. Your teacher's you're going to make the best friends. You can for sure build them up, because your words are so valuable to your child. The man's words are so valuable. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and even actions, so make those, somehow talk about it with your spouse. How are you going to stretch out those tasks that need to be done and be encouraging and make it not so stressful, but also just what are you going to do to interact with your kids and inspire them towards the next year? Hey, God, and what's my vision for my kid for this next year? We're going to talk about that probably in a podcast later, but in more depth, because I think it's super important. But right now, it's just maybe ask the question, God, what is the vision? And asking your kid, what do you want for this year? And being that positive force in their lives instead of filling them with, oh man, it's going to be a tough year, man.
Right.
Math's going to be hard. You better work. You better do this. You better do that. I mean, can you tell I've been there, done that? I've flipped that thinking in my head of.
Well, and the way to do that is to flip that thinking. Even is to go back to when you were a kid. What do you remember starting school? Do you remember those fears, those anxieties? Draw from those and think about what is it that you wanted and needed as a child as you headed into your first day of school.
Yeah. And especially if they're doing particular transitions, such as starting a new school or starting your 1st grade or starting middle school or whatever it is, find out what those things are and help your children through it as you go through also the tasks that have to be done. So
to wrap up, we love August. We love the month of August.
That's
we love preparing our kids for their next step in this world. So go be crazy, parents.
Go be crazy. crazycoolfamily.com.